toughness of a blue collar city like Philly. You see her just evolve. Not only is she a really good young player, but she's evolving. You see the from year to year, she's added more and more to her game, and um, her opponents have to really scheme for her, scheme a lot for her because she does a lot for the sky. Rebounding, she can get downhill on you. She's a streaky 3-point shooter, and you're just seeing the evolution of her beginning to just take form of a really truly great Philadelphia guard.
And then just a quick follow-up for Lisa. You're coaching Candace today, and you guys have obviously a long history together. What are you looking forward to being reunited as a coach and a player today?
Yeah, it's been good being around Candace and just watching her, because obviously when she started with the Los Angeles Sparks, she was really the baby on the team, and to see her now as the veteran, her fuse is a little bit shorter now because she's able to recognize and just, ready for the team to get going. She wants things to happen faster, but it's been great. Looking forward to her getting out there. And again, she's the veteran. So we will go as she goes. She wants to play a lot. She's out there, but there's a lot of young players, again, like you talked about with Kalia, so many players that want to come in. This is their first time and they're ready to go. So Candace has been showing great leadership as well.
All right, thank you. Our next question will come from Doug Feinberg. Doug, if you would, please.
Hey, ladies, I got two. Lisa, do you have a response to Dawn's comment about throwing you under the bus as a roommate from old days at all?
You know what, Doug? I've been on Dawn this morning because, I didn't appreciate her putting out the word as if I was a person who was not clean, because cleanliness is next to godliness.
Hallelujah.
And no one could have been Dawn Staley's roommate other than me, and she'll say that. So no, I got on her, Doug. She was putting me all out there, just explaining all the in-house stuff, but it's all good. No love lost, but
I had a feeling you would respond.
To her about it this morning.
No water spots either, Doug.
Dawn, how are you approaching today? I know it's an all-star game, and obviously, but you're trying to get ready for the Olympics. So you played in all-star games. Is this like have fun for 3 quarters and get serious, or are you going to play this like it's an exhibition game against Australia or Nigeria later on?
We're using this all-star game as preparation. Obviously, we want everyone to have fun, but there's some strategy to it. Obviously, we want to work on some things that we want to do in Tokyo, but not too much because we don't want to let any of our strategy out of the bag. But the whole premise of playing in this game is to win. And I know these two that are sitting next to me want to do the same. And I really can't allow them the bragging rights, or else I would not hear the end of it. So the USA Olympic team's got to get it done today.
All right, thank you, Doug. Our next question, Christy Winters-Scott. Christy, you're up.
First of all, kudos to all 3 of you ladies for the representation of being 3 powerfully strong Black women who are going to be leading in the game this evening. But this question is for all 3 of you. What advice have you given not only to the USA team, but to the All-Stars in the WNBA in terms of finishing out the WNBA season strong, but especially since you all have won a gold medal or more than one, how have you been able to explain what it takes to the current team, especially the new ones on the Olympic squad this year?
Well, I've had quite a few conversations with some of the younger players on the USA team as well as the All-Star team. And I just stress showing up every day and being the best version of yourself. We, the 3 of us, have had the opportunity to be in this position and play on the national team and accomplish so much. It's because of our preparedness, but also how we showed up every day. There was an expectation of bringing nothing less than your best self, and it was a standard that was set and continued, for a long period of time. So I just really had short conversations about just the consistency of the quality of your work and always being as efficient as you possibly can.
Yeah, and for me, I got a chance to talk to quite a few of the young ladies as well. I think the biggest advice I gave them, especially for the All-Stars, who obviously some have aspirations to be on Team USA, is just the biggest thing that you have to improve on is being able to do a self-evaluation. Look at your games, look at yourself. Some of the young ladies asked me, step to the side and just like, what advice do you have for me? And my advice is just to never be settled for where you are. You can always get better. You can always improve. And how do you do that? A lot of players work on the same things that they do well, as opposed to looking at what is the scouting reports against you? What are your weaknesses? Ask your video guy for all of your misses, like figure out how you can get better. And sometimes, we're talking to the next generation here and trying to help them to get to accomplish some of the many things that we've been able to accomplish. But that's come from us putting in the hard work and self-evaluating ourselves to get better.
And then I'll just add, I really haven't talked to a whole lot of the WNBA All-Stars, but they're here for a reason. I truly believe that these are the best of the best. So we'll probably try to speak to who's not here and how we get those other masses of players, both in the WNBA, striving to becoming in the WNBA, and those college players who have a dream of becoming NBA All-Stars. They're here for a reason. Watch the talent that's going to be on display at 4 p.m. Eastern time and 4 p.m. Pacific time and 7 p.m. Eastern time. Y'all Central people, I try not to. I'll get me all confused. I know the ends. But just want the talented people to be on display so they can give hope and some aspirations to those that aren't here.
All right, thank you. Our next question is going to come from Amina Suban, Southern California News Group.
Hi, with the league celebrating the 25th year in all its history, Tina, Leslie, what do you guys remember most about that first All-Star game in '99?
25 years.
99.
25.
First one in New York. Oh yeah, that was the first All-Star game was '99 in New York in the Garden. Yeah, I remember that because it was amazing to play in the Garden in front of so many fans, and I just remember the West just getting out and we were rolling, wanting to win and passing the ball and moving it around, and we were just excited. The biggest thing is having the idea of the pressure back then of trying to be amazing. All-Star game, it's the first, and we want to make sure it's not our last. So I just remember us really being almost like Team USA in the way that it wasn't about any individual. It's just about the success of the team and getting that win. And so the West, we were able to come out with that win in the Garden, and it was outstanding. So many celebrities were there. So I remember being just like awesome.
All right, thank you. Our next question will come from Emily Adams. Emily, if you would, please. Emily will be followed by Amna Suban, Southern California News Group.
Hi, my question's for Dawn. I wanted to ask you about, working with A'ja Wilson again after you had her in college. What is it like to, see her now as a pro compared to what it was like coaching her in college?
Did you say A'ja?
Yes.
Seeing A'ja, her growth both on and off the court is pretty special. Obviously, I got a really strong and great relationship with her. To see her grow and mature into a WNBA MVP, playing in a WNBA championship, being on the Olympic team, seeing her partnerships with Mountain Dew, and I saw in a Nike commercial, I'm Skims, although I don't, like her showing all her stuff like that, but she's making money and showing her stuff out there in a way that she's checking off some things that we talked about very early on in the recruiting process, and then being at South Carolina and now just being an alum. Like I'm truly honored to be her coach and happy to share in this moment and us just on this journey of winning the gold medal.
And her statue too. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
I'll just chime in that I love the fact that she has a statue there on their campus. I think it's amazing for other young girls and for the recruits and people who come out to see that, wow, this young lady, started out there as a freshman, and by the time she ended her career, she has a trophy. I mean, she has a statue in front of the university, and I don't know if there's any other women that can really say that in basketball in the United States. So great job, Dawn. It's awesome.
There are a few, but I do enjoy hearing your voice say her name on the WNBA commercial. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Statue. Yeah.
She's awesome.
All right, thank you. Our next question, forgive me, I said Amna twice. Our next question will come from Erica Ayala. Erica, you're up.
Thank you. Good to see you all, and appreciate you coming back to celebrate this momentous season. And to that point, this question is mostly for Tina and for Dawn, as you both have played in the WNBA for franchises that are no longer here. They don't exist. And I wanted you to maybe reflect on being able to play for Houston and Charlotte, and what would you like to see as far as the involvement in some of those players and even the fans of those two teams when it comes to celebrating the WNBA this season and beyond?
Well, I think that we're only as strong as, like our history, and I think it's very important for our young players to know, the history of our game. It's very difficult to evolve if you don't know, where you have come from and the shoulders of the women that you stand on. So I think that it's very important to at least, make notice of the franchises and the players and, what they poured into building the foundation of this league. I remember starting in 1997 in our inaugural season, there was a personality and an attitude of the WNBA to create a foundation of longevity, and that we wanted the WNBA to be here like we are today, 25 years later. So longevity was something that was constantly talked about. There was a pouring into the community, to our fan base, to the people that supported the WNBA in a way of gratefulness. And I think that it's really important that, all of those good deeds of the players that, started and built this foundation, that they are, recognized and kind of given their just due for what they've done to allow us to be in this space today.
Amen.
Yep. Cynthia Cooper won't let anybody not remember her 4 championships. That's number one. And then the Charlotte Sting fans will not. They're crying out for another WNBA team. I do think women's basketball in that part of the country is ready to support another WNBA team. MJ, Michael Jordan, it's time to bring us back. Bring the Charlotte Sting back.
I like it. Houston, we need one too.
All right, thank you. And our next question will come from Ronald Wallace. Ronald.
Good afternoon, ladies. With all the talent that's going to be on both sides of the court tonight, how does that make you feel to be able to coach some players that at their caliber? And secondly, we're not going to see you guys come out at the halftime lacing their shoes up with your jersey on, y'all ready to play.
Yeah, Ron, you definitely won't see me lacing up anything. My shoes are already tied and they're going to stay that way. So we won't be, or at least I won't. I'm not going to speak for Dawn and Lisa, but I definitely won't be coming out of halftime. Yeah, just coaching. That's all. But really excited to be in this space, with so many young players that are thriving and carrying our league. I think that it's going to be a fun and exciting game, and I'm really competitive, and I'm looking forward to it.
All right, thank you. Next question, please. Pepper Persley. Pepper, go ahead.
Okay, Pepper.
Hi, Tina. Hi, Dawn. Hi, Lisa. It's so great to see all of you. And I wanted to start by thanking you all for everything you've done for the WNBA and for women's basketball and sports in general. And I have 2 questions for all of you. So firstly, with this being an all-star game, there's all this talk about great players and GOATs and that type of stuff. But in your opinion, what skills define a truly great basketball player? And then all of you were, or I believe all of you were a part of the first All-Star game in '99, or actually, no, Dawn. But can you just talk about the evolution of the WNBA All-Star game since that first All-Star game to this one?
Okay, well, the first question about the talk about the GOAT, I don't know where all this, the GOAT talk came from in general. I think it's very tough to compare different positions and different errors and come out with like who's the best of the best, because there's so many players that, depending on that player in their prime, is very tough. Nobody can rule out, Cheryl Miller and what she's been able to do on the court. And if she hadn't had injuries with her knees, where she would be. So I just feel like it's a little, I don't know. I really don't participate in that. So what those skills are, most of the names that are even in that conversation, and on any given day, I think people, depending on their opinion, will choose that player. The second part of your question, and just in terms of the All-Star game, the first inaugural All-Star, I talked about a little bit, just the excitement of having the opportunity to come together, and then, sacrificing self. It wasn't about any one individual. We just moved the ball, and we knew that we wanted the West to win the first All-Star game ever. And that's really all I remember. How about you, T?
I just remember winning.
And that's all that matters. Microphone drop.
All right, thank you. Next question will come from Aislinn Jowers. Aislinn.
Hey coaches, this question's for all of you. On either side of the court, is there a player in particular that you see yourself in?
That plays now?
Yes, that plays now.
Wow, there's so many players. I feel like I'm a combination of a few people out there. At times, it depends. Asia, although she's a lefty, her footwork, I love her face-up game, back to basket. And you have Tina Charles, who, tells you she does a lot of my, moves and up and unders. And, you come at her left and right. Stewie got a little bit of, outside. So I think there's a combination of players that play like similar to all of us, actually. Mm-hmm. Who's that player?
For me, just take the point guards, and I feel like their court vision. I actually understand the magnitude of their court vision. Courtney Sloop, she does a great job at setting people up and making people's life a lot easier. Same with Sue Bird. Sue Bird is a maestro. She has the command of the game, and she, again, makes people's lives a lot easier out there on the floor. Chelsea Gray, just watching her play, she's the biggest of the point guards, and she's still able to thread the needle and make other people look good, while all of them are able to hit the big shot as well. So I didn't shoot as much as they do, but we certainly have a lot in common when it comes to passing the ball.
Absolutely.
All right, and our last question, Rafiq. Rafiq with the last question.
This is Rafiq with Nothing But the Sports Talk. I just want to say congratulations on being selected to be coaches for the All-Star game, and it's hard to finally get a chance to speak with you all. I just want to ask you, like how will this All-Star game change the whole landscape of the WNBA going forward, considering it's between USA and the WNBA players?
Well, I'll say this. The WNBA has gotten better and better and better as far as the number of talented players and teams. I think what's going to be on display is great talent. We need, at this point, for anybody that's interested in investing in women to do that. Invest in our league, invest in players who can represent and endorsing products. That's where this needs to go. We got the product on the floor that a lot of companies can side with, and we make women's basketball proud by the hard work that goes into it, the talent that's on the floor, the coaching that's on the sidelines, and it is time for us to take that next leap to making the WNBA what the NBA is today. Because 25 years into the NBA lifeline, I don't know where they were, but surely I know what took place in the next 25. And if you would do that, something that's very similar and investing in it, you'll get your money back tenfold.
And the follow-up question, what are your thoughts on Candace Parker being named the cover of NBA 2K22, and how will this change the whole investment in women going forward?
Candace Parker and being on the cover.
NBA 2K. Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, is it on the cover?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, great. Yeah, I think that's awesome. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear the question, but I think it's great. I think it's, again, as Dawn spoke about, to have sponsors outside of the game that recognize how great the women are playing, and then to have individual contracts and things like that is phenomenal, because that's what it takes. And here's why. When you look at the little kids, boys and girls that are playing those Y2K games or whatever the names are, they're playing all these video games. They're growing up with the idea that they can be Candace Parker or they can be Damon Lillard. Like, they have the opportunity to pick a boy or a girl, a female, a male, or a woman. And eventually those become decision makers of the future.